Good morning. On a day when shops in around London, shops in big cities are still boarded up with signs, "Sorry, we're closed today due to civil unrest." It's shocking, isn't it, really? And Keir Starmer has requested that courts sit for 24 hours. Absolutely. That backlog needs to be cleared, not just of the people who are charged with rioting, but also the many, many cases which have been delayed and delayed and delayed while the courts and the court officials pocket the money and get richer. The court is our servant, and the court is there to do its job in exactly the same way as the NHS is there to do its job in a timely fashion. And the delays which have been encouraged and enabled in the last 10 years or so, particularly since Brexit, need to be reversed. And if that means people are obliged to work through the night, well, that must be as it is, because we've got into a position where our country is grinding to a halt, and that can't be allowed to continue. And then we've got people like Katie Price. I'd like to take you through some of the developments surrounding Katie Price, as figure who's been a staple of the British tabloid culture for the last 2 decades, and her journey from glamour model to television personality and entrepreneur has been both colourful and tumultuous, with the latest chapter involving a dramatic arrest and a court appearance that has once again thrust her into the public eye. She was born in the she was born Katrina Amy Alexandra Alexis Infield, and she rose to fame in the late 1990s as a glamour model under the pseudonym Jordan. So she's somebody who's continually reinventing herself and seems to thrive on fame. She became a household name, appearing in various reality TV shows, launching her own brands, publishing a series of autobiographies and novels, and she's had a remarkably public life, with marriages, divorces, financial disasters splashed across the tabloids. And I think it's become some sort of drug, this idea of publicity mixed up with personal drama, to make a drama out of your life. And despite these numerous business ventures, her management has been the subject of intense scrutiny, and in 2019 she was declared bankrupt. And just this year she found herself once again declared bankrupt, owing over £761,000 in unpaid taxes. This is a theme in her life, and leading to several court appearances, ongoing public examination, and a feeling that she can just get on with her life, while this chaos that she leaves behind, which seems to attract public interest and keeps her name buoyant and in the headlines, goes on. No news is no stories are bad stories. All stories are good for her. Well, I don't know whether that's necessarily true. Her decision to fly to Turkey coincided with a court appearance. There are parallels here, of course, with Tommy Robinson, that she was supposed to attend regarding her ongoing bankruptcy issues. And rather than attending the hearing, she opted to undergo yet another cosmetic surgery, a facelift reportedly costing £10,000. And this has led to a warrant being issued for her arrest when she failed to appear in court. Upon her return to the UK, she was promptly arrested at Heathrow, a move that underscores the seriousness with which the court is treating her financial and legal obligations. And the arrest has led to a court appearance in front of Judge Daniel Schaffer, who's delivered a stern warning, making it clear that there's no ifs, no buts regarding her attendance at the next hearing on August the 27th. In this appearance, Katie Price appeared visibly swollen from her recent surgery, which in itself had become a point of media interest, and the judge, unimpressed by her lack of legal representation, highlighted her need to take her own legal obligations seriously. When Price explained she was unable to secure a solicitor due to the high upfront costs, citing £50,000, the judge countered that her case wasn't complex and could be handled for significantly less. This exchange paints a figure of a public figure struggling to manage the reality of her situation, despite her past earnings and her public image. And her request to attend the hearing via Zoom, citing difficulties in court, was met with skepticism. The judge's insistence on her physical appearance underscores a radical system that is increasingly losing patience with what can be perceived as evasion. And radical because we're going down to the bare roots of justice. Justice must be seen to be done, and there can't be one justice for one person because they're famous and another justice for another person because they're anonymous and unknown. All justice must be seen to be done, and must be seen to be done quickly. The public reaction to Katie Price's recent actions has been predictably polarised. Some express sympathy for her situation, acknowledging the pressures of living life under constant scrutiny. Others are less forgiving, viewing her actions as irresponsible and emblematic of a person who's out of touch with the consequences of her decisions. Of course she's out of touch. The problem is this life in the media and life controlled by management is potentially catastrophic because you rely on that management, and that management may be faulty. Believe me, I know all about it. And the paranoia that comes from that sort of life, added to the damage done by reality TV, which is considerable, and we'll come back to that again. I'm not at all surprised that she's a walking wreck, but people must take responsibility. And suddenly at this moment she seems to be abandoned, and yet she has money to go to Turkey for a facelift. And she could say, well, that's how I make my money. That's how I make what little money I've got. Actually, she seems to have got into a habit of making money out of notoriety. She would make money if she stood on her head. And maybe she needs to focus on the talent that she's got rather than focusing on trying to uplift her physical assets. There's a point at which that physical appearance is not as valuable as it once was. And there's a point at which you have to rely on the other things you've got. So was she really writing books? If she was, then that's what she should be doing now. And there's she's got a quick mind. If she can survive reality TV, she's got a quick mind. She should be using that. But she's become dependent on the coterie of managers and assistants who no doubt surround her. And if she got rid of a lot of those who are not doing her any good, because they probably advised her to go off to Turkey, then maybe she could pay her tax affairs. Maybe she could avoid bankruptcy. maybe she could avoid problems with the courts. The courts have enough to do without messing around with some self-opinionated and arrogant reality TV star. She is a cautionary tale, isn't she? About the perils of fame without foresight. And her decision to prioritize cosmetic surgery over a critical legal appointment is stupidity. And it reinforces the narrative that Price is unwilling or unable to confront the reality of her financial irresponsibility. Her life is a complex interplay of public adoration, media scrutiny, and personal challenge. And her recent arrest and court appearance are simply the latest in a series of legal troubles that have marred her career. And maybe she's got so blasé that she thinks that this is just the way life goes, ups and downs, as she awaits her next court date. But this could be decisive and dramatic and fairly terminal to her career. We can only wonder whether this is a wake-up call that will actually wake her up, so that she reassesses her priorities, recognizes where her real talent lies, and ditches the rubbish. Or if it's just another chapter in her ongoing saga that will be turned into another version of her autobiography. This is the problem of life lived in the limelight. But this is also the problem, as I say, of reality TV, the ongoing impact, the PTSD that goes with reality TV, and the abuse of management that goes with fame.